Most apparently psychic photographs seem to turn up by accident, but in the 1960s, one man claimed that he could take them at will. His name was Ted Serios, and he asserted that he could imprint images on film merely by thinking at the camera.
Ted Serios called his technique photography. He usually used Polaroid cameras, and sometimes extraordinary photographs emerged. Blurred and distorted, but often showing buildings miles away from the cameras. This 1967 session was organized by Ted's champion, psychiatrist Dr. Jule Eisenbud. Today, Ted and Jule are reunited for another photographic test. Dr. Eisenbud has taken time off from his busy practice. Pausing only to collect essential supplies, they're bound for Dr. Eisenbud's cabin outside Denver in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. In his heyday, Ted astonished the psychic world with his performance as a photographer.
When he was hot, when he was in the groove, what happened was that first he would start by alternating whiteys and blackies. Blackies is total obstruction of the light, no light getting in. Whiteys is total overexposure, which shouldn't have been. Then the pictures would start getting darker and darker and darker, and then he would start to imprint parts of people or scenes.
Like this church in Germany, where Ted had never been, or this blurred writing identified as a sign from a Mounties building. But in Ted's version, the word Canadian seems to be misspelt.
This is a Stagger Wing airplane. This is what Ted got. Here you will notice that the strut here is an inverted V. Up here he has re-inverted it so that this is his typical signature. Now this type of rearrangement is exactly what we do in dreams. Exactly.
No, don't even trigger it. When I say now, something bang like that. I got a good idea.
Could Ted have been cheating? Impossible, says Eisenbud.
Ted was continually observed by dozens of people, sometimes 6, 8 in a session.
Ted usually held a tube of paper in front of the lens. He called it his gizmo and said it helped concentrate his thoughts. Ted's last photograph was of curtains, but that was 10 years ago. Can he produce anything now?
I'm after one thing, and that's a person that's holding something. Okay.
But all he got was his face.
Now you press the button.
All right.
Oh. Good.
Undaunted, Ted and Jule work on into the night, trying everything they know to recapture the spirit of success.
Come on, take some film juice. You know.
Randy's gonna like
this. We did this night after night for 3 years. The sessions would last 6, 8 hours, and at the beginning, nothing would happen.
But later, in those original sessions, weird pictures would often emerge. How did it happen? Two observers who watched Ted in action for a whole weekend suspected his gizmo, the rolled-up tube of paper. Charles Reynolds and David Eisendrath, experts in both photography and conjuring, speculate that Ted might have used the gizmo to hide a pocket magnifying lens with a tiny slide stuck on the end.
By taking a piece of a transparency, a piece of a photographic transparency, and fastening it across the end, when light passes through the transparency and then through the lens, is picked up by the optical system of the Polaroid camera, and voila, it becomes a photographic image. This is Big Ben, and let's just see how it looks on your camera.
Using a device like this, they reckon Ted could have produced any picture he wanted.
Charlie is going to hold it. The light from the wink light is going to bounce off of Charlie's shirt and jacket and pass through this lens, through the lens of the camera, and hopefully make a good image on the film. Now, you want to mask off as much of that lens as you can now. Hold it down. Good.
Thing. Yeah, all right. Now, you must realize that when Ted is doing this, a great deal of chaos is taking place. And it's very possible that he could have ditched that, as I just did. And when they said, let me see this thing, he could say, yeah, look at it, you know. And in the meantime, he's drinking beer, and people are running around, and a great deal is happening. And it's very, very easy, under those circumstances, for somebody to do this. You don't even have to be a magician.
So have Reynolds and Eisendrath proved that Ted was never psychic?
I cannot say that he doesn't have supernatural or extraterrestrial powers, but in 3 days, I never saw him do anything that led me to believe that he did have them.